Looks like we're adding another Traxxas machine to our RC driver collection. How's it going, everyone? Take a look at this machine that just arrived. It is the Slash 4x4 brushed, and I am excited to check this out. Actually, my kids are excited to check this out because they were here when this thing arrived, and as soon as they opened the box, they were stoked to see this body on here. This is a very cool looking body, part of the new Slash 4x4 brushed setup here, and we're going to dig into this kit. I'm going to show you guys everything about it and why you might add this to your collection as well. All right, so the usual Traxxas box art looks very cool here. Over here, we've got some of the details going on inside the box. Four-wheel drive brush model, comes with the battery, comes with a charger, and we've got a real simple suspension setup here. They've kind of gone through and refined a couple things to drop the price point of this vehicle a little bit. And you know, we've got the Slash tires we've seen before. We've got rims that match the body. There are two different versions of the body. Let me see if I can find that over here on the box. Yeah, over here. So it comes in a green version, which is what we got, or it comes in this orange version as well. And my two kids, they were really excited. They saw the box art here. They saw the orange one and they saw the green one. They're like, oh, I'm going to get the green one. I'm going to get the orange one. I had to break the news to them. There's only one in this kit. But this is a very cool machine, you know, for people that are getting into four-wheel drive short course trucks, or maybe you want to add another Traxxas to your collection, so maybe something you're going to build a project into. You know, there are a variety of reasons to get this particular machine, but let's dip into the box now and see what it comes with. All right, so usual great packaging here. We've got a TQ radio system, and then we've got the vehicle itself right here, and I think the instructions are, yeah, here we go. So we've got this bag of usual instructions and stuff that comes with it. All right, so I'm gonna go and break this all down, show you guys what you get with this vehicle. Now here it is, the TQ radio system. This is a basic Traxxas model here. Gives you the basic trims that you're gonna need to use this vehicle with, your steering trims, your throttle trims and stuff. It's got a nice foam wheel to it. Really like the grip on this radio and like the way it feels. All right, let me put that over here. Now let's check out some of the stuff that it comes with. And if you've seen some of my other Traxxas unboxing videos, you've probably seen similar bags. But anyway, let's just go through everything right here. It's got the Traxxas Slash 4x4 manual. It's got a sheet on the Traxxas chargers and batteries. Let's see here, warranty card stuff, and the service guide here, so make sure you go through all the paperwork. Over here we've got a foam battery block, so if you are using different batteries, you could use the block to take up space. Looks like we got some extra body clips in there. Over here we've got the charger that comes with it. Now this is a 4-amp charger, and that's a lot better than most wall chargers that come with other ready-to-run vehicles. A 4-amp charger will charge the battery much faster. This does have an LED light on here, so it lets you know the status of the charge. Now this is a nickel metal only charger. You can't charge a LiPo with it, and it does need to be charged in a 12-volt car outlet here. So that's something just to note. Yes, it's really cool that it's got the fast charge, but you do have to go use it with some sort of 12-volt adapter. Traxxas has that if you don't want to put this in your car, so just keep that in mind when you go to charge your battery. All right, now we've got the usual Traxxas tool set. We've got the Allen wrenches, we've got our box wrench, we've got this little tool here to pop on the universals in the drive shafts, and then over here we've got some spacers for the shocks. These are preload spacers, so you can adjust the ride height of your machine. Now, we could get to the truck. And as you can see, this comes well packaged too. 4 body clips pull the body off. So we could check out this cool new body, and the graphics look really cool on this body. Definitely liking the look of it. Traxxas is just going wild with their graphics lately, and I do like the color combo of this. Already decaled right out of the box, and again, looks great. Can't wait to see it out there in the dirt. All right, now here's the truck, and it is loaded with paperwork. Oh my god, let me check this out. So we've got some more instructions that you guys got to read. Just go through that. I will go through that after the video. And here's an instruction sheet for the XL5 speed controller, so read that as well. Now I could check out the truck, and this is a very cool truck. I've had Slash 4x4s before. They are a cool platform. I've actually used this platform to build a number of projects off of, and again, if you're already deep into RC and you want to build a cool project, this might be your base to start off with. Or if you're just getting into RC, really want something 4-wheel drive, this is a great short course truck to check out. All right, so let's go through some of the details here. Of course, we've got this high impact front bumper here, short course style bumper. Very neat, takes a lot of abuse and does, protects the front of the vehicle. Moving back just a little bit here, we've got the oil-filled shocks. We've seen these shocks before on a number of Traxxas vehicles, and they work really, really well. Nice and plush suspension here. And then moving on, what really jumps out at me is now they have fixed links on the top for the camber link. So before we had adjustable tie rods to reduce a little bit of cost, they went to this fixed link here, and then we've got the usual durable front suspension arms, and they are the same front to rear on the vehicle. The only difference here is on the outside. We've got the caster blocks and steering knuckles. These are really bulky units here. A lot of bracing to these, and should hold up to a lot of abuse. I know people are gonna be crashing and bashing on this thing, and those stock pieces work really, really well. What we also have up front here, while I'm talking about the front of the vehicle, is the telescoping drive shafts, the universal drive shafts here. Those also work really well. Ball bearings throughout the entire kit, so you don't have to worry about bushings. This is set up with ball bearings, and those of course allow the drivetrain to spin nice and free. Moving over to the center here, we've got the front gear case with the gear differential in there. The Revo spec differentials, so they will hold up to a lot of abuse too. Got metal gears inside, so if you do go and add more power later on down the road, the drivetrain can take it. All right, now moving on to the chassis. This is the high CG chassis. What's really neat about this particular chassis is if you're just a basher going out and having fun, this chassis really delivers that feel of a short course truck. You get that body roll because the CG is a little bit higher on this versus their low CG model found on a number of their other vehicles. But I do like the driving element of this chassis setup. It makes it a lot of fun. All right, so the battery obviously goes here. It comes with the 8.4 volt power cell Traxxas battery, already fitted with Traxxas ID plugs. And it's easy to access the battery by just simply popping up the strap after removing the body clip, and you could actually flip the strap over to use different batteries. It has 2 different height options to it, so that's a pretty neat feature. Over here we have the waterproof servo, should offer plenty of torque, and that goes down to the steering cranks down here. Now the steering crank does have a servo saver set up on there, so it will help protect your servo, and then it does have adjustable links over here for the steering tie rod, so that's good if you ever do want to go and adjust the toe on the vehicle. All right, let me get back here to the center of the chassis. You've got your waterproof receiver box. Got your XL5 speed controller, and what's great about the XL5, it does allow you to go and upgrade to a LiPo. You just do a little bit of programming. The instruction sheets will walk you through that, and you go use a LiPo battery with it. That sends power to the 12-turn Titan motor here. This is a 550 motor, so that'll give you plenty of torque, plenty of power, and then of course that's mounted to an aluminum motor plate. So the aluminum motor plate dissipates a little bit of heat, and it's a nice firm mount for the motor, so there's no flex in the gearing there. So underneath the cover here is your pinion and spur gear. The spur gear is affixed to a slipper clutch. It is a heavy-duty slipper clutch, so it will take the abuse. It'll take the shock to the drivetrain, not transfer it anywhere else. Now, what is also new here is they do have a composite center drive shaft. So some of the older Slash 4x4s or the other existing Slash 4x4s have an aluminum shaft down the center. This is now a composite shaft. So that is a change to the vehicle as well. All right, now moving to the back of the vehicle, we do have a short course bumper out back. Very cool look to it. It's got the same suspension arms I was talking to you about before. Just on the outside, we have some composite hub carriers. We've got the fixed links up top, and of course the oil-filled shocks. Now the hinge pins inboard here, they are braced with an aluminum brace, so that will help out for durability reasons. We do have that Revo spec gear differential in the rear as well, and overall, just a great proven setup from Traxxas already. Just the major change here is that it's now offered with that brushed motor. All right, and let's talk about the tires. We've seen these tires before. We've seen them on the original Slash. That's where they're really well known, and they are mounted on these cool green rims that matches the body. And again, if you get the orange body, it comes with orange rims. So it's a really neat setup. I'm really excited to check this thing out, see what it can do. Who's even more excited? They're my kids. They can't wait to drive this machine, and so they might make an appearance in this video. We'll have to see. But I'm gonna head outside right now, find some dirt, get some action footage of it, and you can see what this thing could do. What a great day of testing. I went over to our local BMX track, a fun spot that I always love to test vehicles at, and just had an absolute blast with this Traxxas Slash 4x4 Brush Edition. Main reason I had a great time is because I brought my kids along with me, and they drove the truck, and they had a lot of fun with it too. I did a lot of the video work. That's when I had my fun time with it, and then after that I just enjoyed watching them thrash on this thing, and they really beat on this truck pretty hard. So let me break down the performance like I typically do. I'm going to kind of throw in, some of my kids' thoughts of what they were saying when they were driving it. But as far as the steering goes, the steering on this machine works pretty well. When my kids were pulling full throttle, which, probably 90% of the time this truck was at full throttle, the truck has a push to it. And that's good for younger drivers. It doesn't frustrate them, with the truck possibly hooking if it had too much steering. So on power, in dirt and in grass and stuff like that, it would just have that wide turning radius, and they were totally fine with that. They had a smile on their face, so it was pretty cool. They were, again, just more focused on just ripping on the throttle. But anyway, when I took over and I was driving it, I noticed, when you let off the throttle, tightens up the turning radius on the truck, so if you're on a track situation, letting off the throttle for the turns, I think you'll get enough traction to really steer this truck where you want it to. And I mentioned a track in case you have a local track you go and have fun at. But again, steering worked really well. Just to skip ahead a little bit, we did a little waterproof testing, and the servo held up fine when it was going in and out of the water non-stop. But again, steering works really well. All right, so let's move on to the suspension, jumping, handling. This truck actually, it handles really well. I like the shocks on this. The big bore composite shocks that are on here, they work really well. They're oil filled. They soak up a lot of the bumps. They soak up the landings of the jumps. As far as jumping, depending on how you hit the jump, this thing will fly nice and level. With some of the longer slope jumps, the longer approach of the ramp, this thing would drop the nose a bit, and it did do a couple of endos here and there. So it really just depends on the type of jump you're going to hit with it. And overall, I was really happy with the way it jumped. With a lot of entry-level type of vehicles, this is a brush model, so it's within that entry-level line. It's got the power to get some air, and that's key. As long as this thing gets air, I'm happy with it. And again, when my kids took over and they were driving it, they had a lot of fun jumping it, and the smile just got a lot bigger when they were getting some airtime with it. As far as speed and braking, let's talk about speed. It's got a good speed to it. It's a brushed motor. It's got a 7-cell battery pack in there. And for the person that's just getting into RC, wants a 4-wheel drive vehicle, this thing is powered right, so they learn how to drive with it, and I think that's key. And you could always grow later. You could go and get the Traxxas VXL system for it, but for right out of the box, I think Traxxas is looking to get people into like a 4-wheel drive short course truck, and so that's why they came out with the brush, and it's powered just right. It's got some fun speed to it. It will definitely spit up some rocks and dirt when you rip on the throttle, and again, it's got that power to launch it off the jump. So that's really cool. And then on the braking side, of course, it's got good brakes to it, and of course it has reverse as well. So if you do get in a jam, you can go and back out, which, it does just fine. And now, I guess that kind of leaves durability. And, nothing happened to this machine. It is a durable machine. It's a platform we all know, and we've seen this truck before, and especially with the power system behind it, it doesn't have insane speeds to where if it hits something, it breaks, but it is tough. It's quick. And, if you do hit something, it kind of just bounces off. And I got to tell you, it wasn't my kids, it was me. I hit a cement pole with it. And I hit the cement pole at full throttle. Actually, it was probably at a pretty good rate of speed because I was whipping around one of the berms at the BMX track with it. And it went up and over the berm and hit the cement pole. And it made a loud thud. And, there's just nothing wrong with the car. I went over it, and everything's fine on it. And even with running it through the water, my kids ran it back and forth through water, like for a full battery pack. And I kind of had to stop them. I'm like, all right, guys, give the truck a break. And the truck's just fine. No issues with water entering any of the electronics and causing a problem. So the weatherproofing on this does work as well. And again, this truck is just so much fun. My kids had a great time with it. They are the target audience. The person getting their first vehicle, you know, maybe you're an adult, if this is your first vehicle, this is a great vehicle for you to start with. I think that's what Traxxas was going for with this machine, and I think they nail it. It's got a great look. It's definitely got great aftermarket support for it as well, so when you want to grow into this vehicle, you could totally do so. So I do think that this vehicle is a great addition to the Traxxas lineup, and I'm excited to drive it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed our review. If you haven't done so yet, please click the subscribe button, the notifications bell. Throw the video a like or dislike if you didn't like it. Throw up a comment or question in the section below. I'll do my best to get back to it. And of course, when you have some extra time, head over to rcdriver.com.